Have some of that popcorn. It's starting.
It's starting.
It's starting.
It's starting.
I'll hold this in case you want the other.
Okay, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Hi, this is Tendencias, and I am Carlos Marrero, reporting on the exciting world of fashion, beauty, and entertainment. Picture it, February 21st, 2019. I am called to be part of a fashion show. Mind you, I'm not a real designer. To be part of Pride Runway is a runway show with all of these fabulous designers from Project Runway and other incredible designers. And I was able to meet this very handsome, also Puerto Rican guy. His name is Rey Ortiz, who is our guest for the evening. Mind you, we are live, so anything can happen. So get ready, because we are going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk a lot about Drag Race. We're going to talk about fashion. We're going to talk about news. We're going to have some memes and some kiki. But before I bring my guest into the screen, let's see the work of Rey Ortiz. All right, everybody. So for those of you who don't know what the tea is the story. It's not that we're having a tea party. It's that we're going to spill the beans. With that said, I actually want to introduce a dear friend of mine, a gorgeous man, Puerto Rican man, and uber talented designer. His name is Rey Ortiz. Welcome to the show on Tendencias. Rey Ortiz, hi.
Hola, Carlos. I need to correct you for a second. It's not Rey Ortiz, it's Rey Ortiz.
Ay, Dios mío,
come on, baby.
Marrero.
Come on.
Oh.
Roll those R's.
Yeah, people call me Marrero. So it's Marrero Rey Ortiz. Rey, how are you doing tonight? You look awesome, as always.
Thank you. I just thought that my pajamas would be a good look for today.
If those are your pajamas, you should see my muumuu. Oh. Well, Rey, we met a little while ago, and
yes.
Ever since we met, I saw you. Wait, do we?
Sorry, let me fix this thing, because
is this Walter Mercado in the back?
You know what? Just in the whole thing with this whole Netflix situation with Walter Mercado and Alexis Mateo, I thought that I brought you guys some nice capey like inspiration. Yeah, again, another subtle look for you guys. And I'm sorry, it's just that it rotates and I needed to fix it for you guys.
Because you are a little ADD, I heard, right?
I cannot look at you without realizing that thing was like not moving.
Okay. You couldn't finish the show if that mannequin was not going around. Does the mannequin? By the way, does the mannequin have a name?
Yes.
Okay.
The name is Jada Carter Monet. Like almost like Janelle Monáe. Yes, it's all the black divas that I love these days. That's the name right there.
So you have your own house, right? This is your first daughter. Anyway.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Rey, before we go into the like neat and grit of like all Drag Race and all the kiki, I want you to tell me a little bit about your story, about your tea of you being a little kid in Puerto Rico. Tell me a little bit about give me a little bio.
All right. So yes, definitely. I grew up in Añasco, Puerto Rico, which is a West Coast city over there, right by Mayagüez. one of the districts there.
Which is where I'm
And
from. I'm from Mayagüez. Yes.
my neighbor, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're only 20 minutes away. So the thing about Rey Ortiz is that ever since I was a kid, I was very creative. I was that kid that I will be in 5th grade, and the kindergarten teacher will pull me away from the classroom and excuse myself to go help with the Christmas decorations and that kind of thing. Even as a kid, I always felt the need to always be involved with anything creative. So that's pretty much who I was. I was completely hyperactive. My mom can tell you stories of trying to fix me, and I never helped. And just an overall very happy kid with a great family, and I mean a modest household. I'm one of 5 kids, and I'm in the middle, first boy, so a little bit spoiled, but super happy that I got to be with my family and have a very happy childhood.
I'm also from Puerto Rico. I'm the middle child and very creative. And I always got my way by pouting. I would just like not speak to my family, not speak to my parents, and I will always get what I wanted. But I was always very creative. So I knew that I loved you for a reason.
Why do you have to be such a one-upper?
No, not one over. It's
I'm
actually
kidding, no,
camaraderie. So tell me a little bit about, so then how does this Rey Ortiz turns into a designer?
Being an artist all my life in any kind of medium, I never felt that I was like a fashion designer, a painter, a sculpture person, whatever it is that you call it in English. I did my master's degree and my bachelor's degree in computer arts. That explains a little bit of the way I try to present my stuff and the things that I put together in order to showcase my work. But after I finished my master's degree, I was on an MTV reality show in New York that I won along with my team.
I didn't know this.
$100,000. Yeah,
What?
I won $100,000.
What?
2008, right at the height of the recession, which explains a lot. And yeah, my team won $400,000. It was the Latino team that we were competing against Europe, North America, and Asia Pacific. And the Latinos, we took the cake doing computer arts sponsored by HP Computers. And yeah, we each won $100,000. Yeah, it's a great story. After that, I went straight to Puerto Rico. I decided not to do the computer arts because I've been more like I like to do crafts and actually touch my medium. And I mean, I still love what I'm able to create with computers. But even my friends at school told me that they saw me doing something a little bit more fashion-y, I guess. And I used to illustrate my dresses and everything without even knowing how to sew. And then one day I was back in Puerto Rico. I went to Walmart and I got me a Project Runway Edition Brother sewing machine just because I thought that the name was going to be like helping me design. I didn't even know how to thread it. And that was August of 2010, 10 years ago in August. So it's been such a journey and I love it. I think I found my passion 10 years ago when I was 29 years old.
So you moved from Puerto Rico to?
I was in Dallas, Texas, but I did my master's degree in Savannah, Georgia, at the Savannah College of Art and Design. And then I went back to Puerto Rico. And then once I was there, I realized that I was not an islander. I needed to get out. I needed to be closer to bigger things. And I was terrified to go to the major cities like New York or LA. So I ended up going to Dallas because I knew some people there. And then Dallas, 2 years. And then on my birthday, I got in the car and I drove to Los Angeles. And it's going to be, I think it was 5 years ago this year.
Okay, before we go to LA, because we're going to go there in a little bit deeper, what happened in Savannah in a bar called The One? Was that The One or what?
Yes, Club One. Club One.
You came out as gay a little bit late in your life. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Growing up very religious and also very stubborn. I've been very, very stubborn. So in a way, until I am ready to do things, until I'm ready to accept things, until I'm ready to listen, to hear people, which is something I'm getting better at. I didn't really understand who I was. I knew what I liked, but I couldn't put a name on it. So when I went to do my master's degree, when I was away from my family, my friends in Puerto Rico that knew me from like all my life, that's when I was truly able to blossom as a gay person and just meet more people that were going through the same process. And I went to a bar, my first very gay bar. It was in 2000 and maybe 5 or so. And I went there, and it was the bar from Lady Chablis, with you probably remember
Yes,
from
from the garden.
the garden.
Yes,
Yes, of course, with
I forgot
Kevin
the title,
Spacey,
like the garden.
yeah, when Kevin Spacey wasn't famous for other things.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I went there, and I've never felt more on my element that when I went there. It was, and I'm not just saying this just to say it, it's a true statement about what it's like to find your clan, your people, not being intimidated. Before, I was the first one judging the gays. I'm not gonna lie. I was the first one staying away from drag queens. I was the first one doing this because I grew up being so judgmental, so opinionated about these things, but I never had exposure to it. I compared that to like sushi. I hated sushi because I was told that sushi was bad. And suddenly now I'm like the biggest sushi lover ever. So that's kind of like the same feeling I have with this.
Now, were you a Jehovah's Witness?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't know much about that, but don't they go door to door and stuff?
Yeah, including myself. I used to go preaching on Saturday mornings while all the kids were watching Sesame Street and Pacheco in Puerto Rico and all these things. I was
Pacheco.
literally knocking on doors. Yeah, I have a picture as a kid with Pacheco. Pacheco's holding me as a baby.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I
Amazing.
grew up literally doing that, like, and sometimes even more than once a week. And I'm very grateful of all the things that my mom and she put in my heart about doing the right thing under the circumstances. But right now, I don't take part into that anymore. But my family is still very active within church, and I am thankful that they're happy as well. So I think we're happy, all of us.
It is amazing because I come from a strict family as well. Not trying to up you, but I'm just come from a that kind of strict family, and I hated it, and now I love it because I'm dedicated, and whenever I want to do something, I'm there to do it because my father was a hard ass, and back then it was like, oh, he's the mean dad, and now I'm like, I'm so glad he was because I do what I need to do, and I treat people the way I want to be treated. You know what I mean?
The great thing about my experience personally is that I didn't grow up in a fanatic family. I think my mom, even though she was forceful towards, like, in a healthy way, of course, to let us know that we needed to be ready to go to church, sometimes 3 times a week, actually most of the time 3 times a week, taking my nights to do that, going in the mornings to go preaching door by door. But she did it in such a loving way that I don't have any bad feelings towards that. Of course, the teachings, which I don't really agree with anymore, that's another thing. But when it comes to my family and the things that they helped me achieve, which is public speaking, all these things that I learned how to, by being in church.
Discipline.
Not to mention, yeah, absolutely. And I'm extremely grateful for all those things.
All right, so let's jump ahead, and then we're going to keep going back because we both have ADD. I'm a Gemini, you have ADD, so there's a lot of people in this room.
There's a pill for that.
Adderall. But we're not going to do a commercial on that. But anyway, so there's a little show called RuPaul's Drag Race that if you have not heard about it...
what is that?
Exactly. So you become involved with the most... anybody that knows me knows that I'm a RuPaul's Drag Race mega fan, and I'm just one of the thousands and millions of people that love that show. And you actually become one of the go-to designers for RuPaul's Drag Race. Before I go into that, let's take a little break and see a short video, because what we're gonna do, we're gonna break some of your looks throughout the show, and then you're gonna tell me a little tea meaning the story,
Sounds good.
on the dresses. And we're going to watch the first one, who is one of my favorite drag queens, one of the funniest drag queens, one of the most prolific drag queens, Miss Alyssa Edwards.
Lovely gal.
Imagine being that
Lovely
pretty that
gal.
you're like, I'm just gonna do a pony
Yeah.
and still turn it.
I actually really like that.
I really love this ensemble.
I do too.
Oh,
That's really cute.
She is beautiful, and
No.
those eyebrows are done.
girl.
The hair is snatched and yanked.
She looks like a Laura Mercier ad.
I think we should rank everybody what they got on their fashion. Okay, so what would you give her? Is it a stan or ban? Stan.
I stand that.
It's a no for me, dog.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, but I mean, I dress like a beach ball, but
Too casual?
yeah, ponytail with this like navy,
I'm not crazy about the color. What if it was in red? I would like it in red. Yeah.
I love that at the end, Alyssa, when Katya says, I love it in red, kind of telling Alyssa, like, what do you think? And she just goes like, to read. Very Alyssa Edwards. Talk to me about this, and I believe that we can hear you while the slide is up.
Sure. This dress, believe it or not, was supposed to be Cracker's entrance look for All Stars 5. And
Miss
because
Cracker.
of time constraints and some miscommunication that happened, like unfortunately, Cracker went to record to film the season, and then I just called Alyssa and was like, I have something for you, and I think it's gonna fit you. So she ended up getting it like this, real fast. And it's something that I started doing with a lot of structure. And Alyssa is like, I mean, it says Alyssa all over it if you look at it.
So you are in Texas. Alyssa is in Texas. Was she the first RuPaul girl that you did because of the location? Or who was the first drag race girl?
Funny story. Yes, that's a yes for the answer for the question. Alyssa was my very first drag queen that I ever dressed, and the reason is because we were neighbors in Dallas, Texas. So she heard about me, and Alyssa is somebody that will always get excited about creative people, and then she will come to you, and then while you're telling her the idea that you have for her, she will go through your closet, going through your shirts, like, I like this, Ray. I'm like, that's not what I'm going to show you today. Let's, like, if we're talking about ADD, Alyssa takes the cake.
Oh my God.
So,
We're getting some tea here tonight, honey.
It's just like such a joy working with her because it's like he is not different in person than what he is on TV. That's why Alyssa is so loved, because he's not a character. Alyssa is just Justin, Alyssa. This is the same person.
It's one of the most amazing stories in Drag Race because she never got the crown, but she took those experiences to the bank and back, and to the bank and back, and she's still going back and forward. So you cannot.
She won in life. She won in life.
She did. She sure did. She sure did. Should we go to another look?
Of course.
All right. So we're gonna move to the last season, which is season 12, Miss Dahlia Sin. Let's take a look at what you created for Miss Dahlia Sin, shall we?
Of course.
And this one's really fun. See, this is House of Aja.
This is very House of Aja, very kawaii, you know, anime. I wanted it to be very something that was still me, but more campy.
Right.
Because I don't do camp. I do it here and there, and I want to do very big and bold. And
But you know, sitting here with you in this form, I think you could do camp and do it well. I think you're really fun.
Yeah.
So we have two different looks here. One was the introduction look, as I believe you guys call it. I don't know the right lingo, but
the entrance.
The entrance.
The reveal. The reveal.
Yeah, because that's when they announce the girls that come in, right? And
Yeah.
you did that beautiful pink garment that I'm gonna put a slide in a minute. But then there's another one right here, which I tell you, Mr. Rey Ortiz, tell the truth and shame the devil. This is one of the most sickening MF looks of all time. Talk to me about this looks.
Well, the first one you played, which is the bodysuit, that is the pink and blue. That one was just a sexy look that she wanted. She wanted to reference the almost like that Korean, Japanese, K-pop kind of like style, and that's very important to me, which is to adapt to whatever the queen is looking for without losing my style, and also giving them, you know, what they like, and maybe a little bit more with a little bit of an edge. And yeah, the second one, which is the ice cream one that you mentioned, and thank you so much for those comments.
This is just insanity. This is insanity to me.
That one was an idea. She came to me. She's like, the category for the runway, it's called Frozen. And I, of course, don't want to do the obvious. And I told her, why don't we do ice creams? And yeah, like a sundae or something. And then I started working on it and just going crazy with my fabric options. I love working in Los Angeles because I can just go to the design district here, and you can find any kind of fabric you want. You can find literally just what you need to make something work.
So let me ask you a question. That ice cream dress did not make the show because Dahlia unfortunately got caught before the reveal of that, before that runway. And I have a question about that, but let's start with this other question, which is, how upset were you when you worked for so many hours? Because that outfit is so sickening, and it looks like so many hours. You probably don't even know the hours because you probably don't count them, but you probably worked on that for many, many days, and it didn't see the light of day. Talk to me about how you feel.
Well, it saw the light of day afterwards, after the show. The thing about that, you know, I'm not opposed to, at times, not making it on TV, because I do believe that social media these days, it's probably more powerful than what TV could ever be. Of course, RuPaul's Drag Race has millions of viewers, but then people on Instagram literally love to see those pictures that they take these days, because Drag Race has evolved so much that every time a queen does a look, then they do this amazing photo shoot afterwards. And I knew that that look, once it came out, it was going to be cute. But when I saw the picture myself, I'm not going to lie, I was not expecting to photograph that beautifully, like on
I never do this, but let's put this slide back, because the background with the ice in the back, that's really pretty sickening. That's,
yeah, I heard that she went to Antarctica to shoot that picture and then came back. But I needed to say that is her most liked picture on her Instagram to date. Like, if you go there, the other pictures that she has, no one compares to the amount of likes that one got. So I'm extremely grateful, and I'm glad that people got to see it regardless.
well, I am so happy for that look to get so many likes, because it's totally, totally worth it. I mean, your looks are just one after the other. Suddenly, I just want an ice cream sundae, but I need to take a break because we need to hear a word from our sponsors. Let's just take a 30-second break, okay?
Sure.
They pay us thousands of dollars, the Marrero collection, so I have to show that commercial.
Like the Super Bowl.
Exactly. All right, so we're gonna take a little break from the drag shows, and we're gonna talk about a segment called Fashion News, where we talk about the latest in fashion that is happening, because I don't know about you, but I think there's a lot of politics, so we need to bring it back to something fun and fashion. Did I say politics? Because I think this fashion accessory has been turned into a political thing, and it should not be a political thing. But here we're gonna mix the fashion accessory of a mask with the Tendencias entertainment part of it, which is celebrities swear by this stylish face mask to stay safe. Now, thanks to the coronavirus pandemic, the face mask has quickly become the most important accessory, and you don't have to sacrifice style to be safe. Here we have Kourtney Kardashian, Lady Gaga, Jennifer Lopez, Ariana Grande, and Charlize Theron, who's one of my favorite actresses of all time. Give me your tea on these beautiful masks.
Well, I'm glad that this thing is being used to, to make us safe. We have to understand that whatever our president is trying to accomplish, which is to always give us disinformation and put us at risk, which is probably the most horrible thing he can, do to us, especially whenever people unfortunately follow him. I'm glad that these people are taking, into consideration to showcase this. So more and more people continue to use the mask. And a big shout out to my friend Michael Engo that he made that mask for Lady Gaga for the Chromatica.
Wait.
And,
right there?
Yeah.
That one?
Chromatica. Yeah. That was my friend Michael that made it for her. So he sent it to her and she wore it. And I'm so happy for him.
Well, we need to tag him, honey. We need to tag him because that mask is sickening. That is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mask.
Yes.
So we have masks, and another accessory that I see in your room is capes. And with capes, I don't know about you, but let me ask you a personal question, Mr. Rey Ortiz. What is your zodiac sign?
I'm a Taurus.
You're a Taurus. So I'm a Gemini. Taurus. I'm actually May 21st, which is the first day of Gemini, last day of Taurus. So I'm in the cusp completely. I get a little bit of Earth.
Good for you.
Yeah. I have a little Earth, so I'm disciplined. But I don't know if you know of this little astrologer from. He's Puerto Rican or Cuban? I don't remember. But yeah, he's Puerto Rican.
He's Cuban.
He's Cuban, but he lived in Puerto Rico. Right?
Okay, that's what it was. Yes.
All right, so there is a little Netflix original documentary called Mucho Amor. And this is an inspiring story of the most famous astrologer of all times, Mr. Walter Mercado. It's an illuminating, insightful documentary. He was perceived as an androgynous figure. And Mercado discussed his sexuality before his death, although he became an icon. And I had to do this because this I saw last night, and I'm telling you, this is one of the most inspiring. I saw him, and I have to be honest, people would make fun of him because of the time, the way he looked as an androgynous person, and he didn't give two shits about it. Like he lived his life. He inspired so many people. He was always a very positive ray of light. He mixed religions, Buddhism, Santeria, like all of the religions, because he found a thread that it was a common thing, which was loving everybody. Do you remember Mr. Walter Mercado?
I do. I actually grew up in Puerto Rico as a kid, seeing it. I would not be allowed, or we would even change the channel because of my religious background. We were not, of course, let's put it this way. We would not watch the segment, but it was all over. So it was impossible to miss. Like, I think he's like the Latino Liberace.
Totally. And I'm sure that he would have loved that cape in the back. By the way, in the Netflix, which I don't believe you've seen yet, but you have to promise me that you will.
I will.
Versace did capes for him. Isaac Mizrahi, Swarovski crystals were sent to him. Like, he was the tea before there was a tea. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's an amazing, amazing documentary. I'd encourage everybody to see.
And it's also interesting that Alexis Mateo decided to do Walter Mercado for the Snatch game way before this documentary even came out. And what is the good timing that literally Snatch Game was last week, and suddenly this documentary came out. And I promise you, Alexis Mateo probably didn't even know that this was going to happen. So it's crazy how I feel like energy is going to come across, and he kind of like came out at the same time through different mediums. And I find it to be a little bit of a non-coincidental thing that happened that way. Don't you think that it's a little bit mystical that the way it happened?
This is the only way I can say it. And this is mixing Alexis with Walter Mercado. Walter went out with a bam. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Which is the sickening, way that Alexis, yeah, sickening though. You know, and I believe that All Stars was recorded before the last season of Drag Race. You don't have to tell me, but I read the blogs. So I
gave Chase dress that we're gonna see later on one of the segments here. I gave that dress to him probably like June of last year. So
wow,
it's been a year. Yeah,
amazing. Let's continue with the news and let's talk about some body positivity, Vogue and Black Lives Matter. Simone Biles covers the Vogue's August 2020 issue. She is an athlete that right now she should be in the Summer Olympics, but the games have been put on hold for a year, possibly indefinitely. And she said that she got picked on for her hair and for her big legs and for not being the regular skinny little white girl. And I just love this cover. I think it's very empowering. I think is 23 years old. And with the whole Black Lives Matter movement, I just think it's a sickening cover. What do you think?
A few things are happening right now. First off, she's not your typical Vogue cover because of her body type. She's built, she's muscular. She's also, if I'm not mistaken, she's like 4'11" only. Like she's really short. She is. And so many things are happening these days that are bringing into the spotlight that, you know, like I think that bad things are opening the door to good things. And this is one of those amazing things that are coming from these movements, from the Me Too, from the Black Lives Matter, which I call it all Black Lives Matter to begin with. And I just don't want this to be a trend. I want this to become an actual thing that doesn't fade away, because trends do go away. And I don't want this to be cute now and then let's forget about it. We need to continue doing these things and celebrating these kind of body types, everything, because she's actually beautiful. She's talented. She's been busting her ass. She has so much to give to the world, not to mention all the gold medals that she's already won for, you know, for the United States.
Yeah, that's like a little pint of energy and gorgeousness all together. I want to move into another magazine, and this magazine is Sports Illustrated, and we have Valentina Sampaio, and I don't know if I'm saying her name wrong, but she's a Brazilian 23-year-old beauty. She's the first openly transgender woman to be hired by Victoria's Secret, and now is the first transgender gracing the pages on the 58th edition of Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. And this is one of the most coveted modeling gigs in the world. How gorgeous is this girl?
Absolutely. Very, very beautiful. Just the same thing that I said with the previous cover for Vogue. I do believe that even though we need to celebrate trans, people, because they are beautiful, they are, just as human as we are. And for many years, they have been killed, especially women of color, brown people, black trans women get killed, in rates that are very alarming. I don't want this to take away from recognizing that not every trans person is going to look like that cover, like that model. There are so many variations of what trans women and men are, and gender binary people and fluid people. So I'm happy that this is being brought up again within that movement. But I don't want to just celebrate this kind of trans women. Sorry. I want to celebrate all kinds of trans people that seriously deserve it, because this is just almost like a, yeah, like I'm very, very careful about celebrating one kind, and I want to be able to just put all of them into that
umbrella,
and then make sure that no one is being left out because you don't look that way. So all trans lives matter for sure.
Valentina mentions on the issue and on her interviews that she also got picked on, just like Simone. Simone got picked on by her muscles and her height or whatever, or her hair, and she got picked on as well. And now look at these people. Let me ask you something personal. Did you ever get picked on in school?
Absolutely, especially elementary school and then a little bit of high school. But it was mostly like, it was just like hard to understand, because at the time, I really believe it had to do with the gay thing. I think people somehow knew, but yeah, it was a rough time at school for sure.
Absolutely. I was bullied in school, and this is something that I think it deserves a show on its own. But it's beautiful to see that these people and us, we keep going and we keep moving and we keep making our lives better for what it was. And I want to talk about this cover, which you probably don't know the magazine, but I work for this magazine called avesamagazine.com, avesamag.com. And our new issue just came out, which is The Color of Summer. Last week, we have a very, I want to say a darker issue, because we were talking about Black Lives Matter and such heavy subjects. We decided to go with a much brighter, a little bit fun, still mattering, and Better Days Forever. It's a magazine that is dear to my heart. I do a product page, and the magazine is out. Please visit avesamag.com. All right, are we ready to go for more drag?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so we are going into Miss Shea Coulee, and Miss Shea Coulee, she just showed this garment last week, not this Friday, but the Friday before. Don't ask me the date because I don't know dates. But let's take a look at Miss Shea Coulee and the process. And by the way, there is a little bit of a thirst trap in this video. This
I'm a little bit disappointed that you're stealing pictures from my OnlyFans account, okay?
Well, if you have an OnlyFans account, you need to give it to me, because you have a lot of thirsty people on my page looking for you, and you can make some coins. Okay. All right, so Miss Shea Coulee, who is one of my top 3, if not top 2 looks. Let's talk about this look, because this look, I'm just going to let you talk about it. You go.
This look came about when I reached out to Shea, because I reached out to him, and I told him that I heard from a rumor that he was going to be in All Stars. And then, I know people. So as soon as I found out about it, I told him I would love to work with you. And then he's like, okay, I think I have a look that you will be able to execute. And he didn't tell me the design of it, but he told me the theme, right? So whenever he told me about the prom situation, we kind of strategized about the whole roses and this and that, and the whole story behind the Sasha Velour lip sync. And then we kind of came across of doing the crown, and then I wanted to make it in a non-obvious kind of way, showcasing, of course, my construction details and everything. And the dress is actually made out of pink leather vinyl with red piping, and then all of that blood is made out of different kinds of glittery red vinyls that I put together for her. It was a pain in the ass to make.
Well, but it was a pain in the ass, but it's I swear to you, not because you're my guest, it's one of the most iconic looks I have seen on the catwalk, because it's mixing something that she went through by losing the crown and because of the petals, and then the Carrie senior prom blood of the dumping of the blood of Carrie, which was just magical. When I saw this thing, and I'm going to be honest to our viewers, I asked you to be on the show, and you're like, no, let's wait a little bit, and then you said, okay, let's do it now. And now I understand, and I thank you for making me wait for you.
Yeah, that look, we've been waiting over a year to see on TV.
That's
and
crazy.
It becomes a little desperating to wait that long. That's why I was just teasing people and hyping people up for this, because I knew that this was going to showcase so much more than just my design. It was going to showcase a concept, a story. It was going to showcase probably one of my favorite queens of the Rupaul franchise. And Shea Coulee, to me, represents the kind of drag that is so elevated that I am just so thankful that I was being part of it, and couldn't be happier.
You know, one of the things that I love about her is that she's very polished. Everything is well thought out. And one thing that I love, and my daughter, Miss Lisa Opie, who sells she has her own line of lashes. Miss Shea Coulee has the best lashes of all the drag queens in all Drag Race history. Let's move to the next one. Miss Aiden, we're going back to this. This is just recent stuff that you have been working. Aiden Shane, and you did her Zane. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Zane.
English is my second language. All right, Aiden Zane. Aiden Zane, you did the last look. You did the look for the crowning of RuPaul season 12 look. Let's take a look at that look, okay? Oh my God! What is this fabric? First of all, is this a leatherette? Because it looks like leather, but it falls softer. Talk to me. Tell me that. Give me the tea, Mama.
Believe it or not, that is Lycra. Lycra fabric that I'm able to bone and make it harder in some areas. And it's a technique that I kind of perfected, and I am still till this day trying to expand more of it because I have not seen that before. So it's one of those things that I'm really happy that I kind of discover a way to master Lycra to where it becomes so
bendable,
impossible to explain just by looking at it. You know, you have to turn things around and stuff to kind of like get the idea.
So you gave Lycra Viagra.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Correct.
Oh wait, I'm supposed to be showing the look right here. Look.
Yes.
I love the push and pull, the color block of this copper. Do I say copper and black?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Copper and black.
And this how do you call the back? This fan back.
It's
Talk to me about that.
yeah, the shoulder piece. Yeah, pretty much.
The shoulder piece. Okay. And she has
Yeah,
feathers on her shoulders too.
She has feathers for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that stuff is all custom made to match color with the main fabric. I made sure that I found everything because I didn't want one thing to look a certain way and then forget about the look of the rest. Even the feathers needed to match perfectly, and that was a little bit of a pain as well to do. But it turned out well. The thing about this look is that if you notice later on, whenever people can zoom and see it a little bit more, it has both nude illusions as well as regular lycra. And the lycra nude illusions are the same exact color as the copper and the black. And again, one more reason to inspect it a little bit more, because this is the kind of outfit that if you saw it in person, I really believe that you would enjoy the detail, because it's so much more than what the picture is showing you right now.
I want to say, no, bitch. I still enjoy it, even with the picture, because let's just tell the truth. Shame the devil. Aiden was not the most popular of all of the girls. And
don't feel bad. He says that himself. He told me, Ray, I need you.
And you know what? We're both Jibaros of Puerto Rico. So we know what it is to come from nothing. And the fact that she made it to Drag Race and she was able to at least last more weeks than other queens that were more experienced, just like Dalia's in. Come on. You have to give her credit. And you polished her up into this gorgeousness. And I just can't say enough. I mean, give her credit for that. Right?
The story behind this is that when I was watching the season, I'm a big fan of those underdogs that people sometimes take for granted. And there was something about Aiden that I saw myself and I was able to recognize when I saw his makeup style and everything. And I knew that all he needed is a little bit of help to get to a point where, because he already had the most important thing, which is his style. He has a style, and I was able to just go off of that. Whenever this happened, this was at the height of the quarantine that was just announced, so we couldn't go out and buy fabric. So this dress I actually had already made and happened. I didn't even take it in. That dress actually fit Aiden like a glove, because again, the lycra, even though it has the stronger part, it still stretches a little bit. And then I made it to where the measurements are almost like average drag queen size, because it's easier for me to make something smaller than to make it bigger. So I much rather make it bigger and then take it in whenever I need to fit it on the queen, right? And I told him that the dress was made, but I needed to make the headpiece just to give it some extra drama. And then I also made the gloves to match as well. Thankfully, the fabrics that I needed for that, I had at home. And I was able to buy online from specific stores that I already know and have relationships with. But the hardest part was that thing, to be able to ship that piece to Georgia from Los Angeles, California, was like really difficult, because
oh my God.
You have to understand that nothing was normal. Like, in order to build that headpiece, I actually had to go to Home Depot here, actually Lowe's, next to my house, and I had to buy some molding and some things that I can just take away, and then some Velcro and some things, and then I sent instruction, and he FaceTimed me when the dress got there, and I showed him how to do it, because he's like, this doesn't fit. I'm like, I promise you, because I put it on me. It works. It works.
Oh my God! Do we have a video of that?
Oh yeah, we have all the proof.
No,
and receipts
a video
for that.
of you wearing it.
Oh, I do have that. I do have that.
Right,
it was a pain to chip, but he made it. He made it good.
Speaking of of having a video of you doing something, you have not seen this, but there's a little video about, because you were not able to see it on TV, and we are not. How do you feel when these garments are on the show? What's your reaction?
Well, first off, I get some food. I sit down and I enjoy it. I drink. I sometimes have friends over. But obviously, there is nothing that could explain the feeling of seeing your work being in such a spotlight and in mainstream, especially on VH1 and all these things. And I'm not supposed to talk about any of the projects that are coming up with me in the future, but so much more is coming already that I'm not able to talk about, that it's going to be even huger. It's going to be even bigger than what we're talking about today. And all of those things came because of those things being on TV, for the drag queen work that I've done. Because I promise you, Rey Ortiz is not just going to be drag queens from now on. It's going to be so much more. And that's what I'm taking away from it. This is like the best advertising I could pay for.
Okay, so thank you for that. But guess what? I do have a video of your reaction to Insane. Let's watch that.
Where's Aiden?
It's Aiden Zane.
Oh my god.
From Maine,
Yes.
New York City, it's Rey.
And you thought I did not find that video. Oh, you
That
look
was not in my
so cute.
OnlyFans.
Oh, you look so cute. You look like a little kid from Añasco seeing your
That's
stuff.
how I feel.
Yeah.
If you don't celebrate your own stuff, I mean, who else is going to celebrate it? You have to do it yourself.
Nobody. I always say, like, you focus on your lane and you don't compare yourself to anybody else. You just keep pushing yourself forward. That was beautiful. All right. So let's have a little bit. Oh, wait. Yes. Okay. So we have to take a 30-second break because we have to hear a word from our sponsors. Okay?
Perfect.
All right. So now that we got the mask out of the way, and if you're not masking it, you might be casking it. Oh,
They're so demanding. Oh my god.
How is your mask game?
It's okay. Never had any complaints.
No, your mask. Are you making your own?
I know. I'm just kidding. I just made 2 for myself, and that's it. I'm not really making masks for sale. I've been so busy with all these other projects, which I'm really thankful about. And I probably would be making masks if I didn't have any other projects happening. But I'm telling you, I barely have time to sleep.
So you've been blessed.
I think so. Yes, thank you.
Well, I want to say also that you did not have to go, like me, into a mask thing in order to stay afloat because you're working on other projects. Talk to me about how far ahead do the RuPaul... I know you're working on something else, and I'm going to ask you about that in just a minute, but how far ahead do the RuPaul girls reach out to you ahead of time?
There's 2 kinds of girls. There are the Alisa Edwards of the world,
Which
that will call you on Thursday, telling you that they need it by Monday,
Oh!
and not even in LA. She needed a Monday, like in Texas. That happened to me once. She called me and she's like, "Rey, I need this gig real fast. You know, Mr. Ortiz." And then
that's when she called you Mr. Ortiz. That's when she called
Mr. Ortiz. Mr. Ortiz. And then I had to hand deliver it in Austin, Texas, at the Girl Scout camp because they were shooting that Tassos commercial with Alisa Edwards.
Oh,
and
the
I
tea.
had to take that.
Oh.
Yeah, the tea.
Yeah.
So I had to get on a plane to go deliver it to Alisa Edwards. Like that day, we had a blast. And then 2 hours later, I was on a plane back to LA because I needed to go to work the next day.
Oh my God.
So. Yeah, and then, of course, there are the Alisa Edwards that call you last minute. And then there are the queens that know they're going to be on the season or potentially are going to be in the season, and they start reaching out and they start liking my pictures on Instagram, and I kind of know that she might be there. Like, I already know how to recognize when a queen is getting desperate, which, by the way, is happening as we speak right now. And I'm not going to say who it is, but there's many of them.
So,
it's like The Walking Dead.
we're not gonna give anything away because I know that it's supposed to be secret. But are you telling me that you're working on some of, and you can say no, of the season 13 Drag Race?
Let me just do this right now. So
Do the politically correct answer.
Just see my body language, okay? No.
I love it. All right, handsome man. We're gonna move into our last queen, which is actually our reigning queen of Drag Race. Jada, hey, I mean, she is just amazing. Let's
enjoy.
Yeah, and I love it because we're gonna talk about this in just a minute. But let's talk about her after the video. Let me play this first. Look over there! Look over there! I mean, Miss, I just think she is everything, and I was so happy for her. I was a little confused. I'm like, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Talk to me about
confusion.
Go ahead. Talk to me.
No, I'm just saying that she used to say on the debate, confusion.
Confusion.
That was the question.
Exactly.
Yes.
Very politically correct. Jada Essence Hall. You know, she wore this garment for the World the World's live stream series. This is after she won. So I want to know the truth, Mr. Ortiz. Did you do this gown before coronavirus or after coronavirus?
Well, I did it during. Again, this was one of those things that happened that she needed 2 outfits, and I think she only had a week for this to happen. So the red dress, I was already working on it because even if I don't have a client for it, I sometimes start making things on my time off or just to kill some time. And I showed her the idea, and then we modified it to where, you know, she asked me that she wanted to be more like a rich bitch. And I was like, I think I have your dress. And then I showed her, it was just half of it was done. It didn't have flowers. It didn't have anything. Those things, those details to kind of spice it up became available once she talked to me about what she wanted. And she put it on, and that thing fit her like a glove. Nothing needed to be done. She didn't even pad for that dress because it has like
you build the pad.
The pad, yeah, they're in there, and it's funny because it has a zipper in the front. And whenever we were shooting, it was her hiding closet. It was Raja, Evie Oddly, Plastic Tiara, all these people. I was there with them shooting that special.
Candice Kane.
Candice Kane, yeah, and I delivered the dress to them. And then once he's in drag and he already shot one of his segments, he's like, Ray, look at this. So he unzipped his dress and he was wearing his board shorts under it. He didn't have anything. Board shorts on top of the pantyhose. So we were just laughing so hard because who's expecting that from Jada?
You know,
it's just funny.
One of the things about Jada Essence Hall, I believe that she's one of the most authentic queens. And I wanted her to win because I believe, again, I use this word a lot, polished. And she was very polished from the beginning. Other people wanted other people, but I actually wanted her to win And the part that upsets me the most is that she has not been able to have the success. I don't want to say success, but the ride of the other queens that have won before. Let me just play another video of Jada on this particular event that you designed this dress for.
What's going on right now in the world. And I know everybody has a different story about how they've dealt with COVID-19, this horrific pandemic. I know, well, first of all, congratulations,
Thank
Jada.
you.
Yes. The new queen. And you, I mean, you and Heidi were just on season 12, and it was a crazy success, but it all kind of felt a little muffled because you guys would be out touring right now. Working. And so tell me how it's been for both of you guys.
You know, I think it's really weird because when you make the show, people tell you that you will be a star overnight almost, but literally since we were at home, trapped in the house, to finally be out into the world again, it's really like you become like a star overnight. But I know that everybody was going through the same thing, so no matter how much it affected us, I think it's important that we just knew and realized that everybody in the world was affected in the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad for her because she has not been able to live her dream as RuPaul's Drag Race season 12 queen. How do you feel about that?
Well, even though they haven't been able to travel, and I think at least financially she was able to get that money from winning. But I'm more than her. I'm more sad about the other queens that are not able to travel and make those coins as well. Jada has been working a little bit, and of course I agree with you. I do want her to do even more, but the Drag Race season that happened during this quarantine process actually has been one of the highest rated
I didn't know that.
seasons watch. Absolutely. And some things do, again, like there's always a silver lining with all of this, and I know that she will get busy, and not just her, but Heidi, Widow, I think that Jackie Cox and all these amazing, like Nikki Doll, those queens are going to be working immediately after this is all lifted again. So I agree with you. I wish they were just like coming to DragCon, for instance. That was not, a possibility, which, by the way, you have to come next year to DragCon. I'm expecting you here.
I'll come. Yes, absolutely.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And again, they didn't get to make those coins, but I have a feeling that as soon as this gets lifted, they're going to go to work right away.
Okay, before we go, and we're coming down for a landing, I want to ask you, who is your star that is not necessarily a drag queen, but like a regular star, singer, actress, or whatever, that you would like to see a Rey Ortiz on the red carpet?
Is that even a question? Is that even a question?
It is a question.
My girl, Jennifer Lopez.
Ay, Dios mío, en el nombre del Padre, del Hijo, del Espíritu Santo.
It's Jennifer Lopez, and I'm gonna say one more person that I want to dress in the future, and her name is Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. She will be it will be my dream to dress her, because again, she represents so much, and the fact that she is Puerto Rican like us, and she is a Latina that is changing the way politics are being made right now. I would love to dress her. Of course, I'm not going to make her a drag outfit, but it will be fierce.
Oh, please do. Please do.
She's beautiful. She's beautiful.
She's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. I thought you were going to say like Beyonce or like Madonna or something like that. But like the fact that you picked these two, I know.
Who knows?
Yeah, I love it. Rey, I cannot say thank you enough for being with us tonight. You are just such a kind man, and you are creating I love that you're staying on your lane, you're focused, and you're inspiring, and you give us some sickening looks one after the next. Would you come back and let's talk about the most fashionable drag queens? I have so many ideas about Drag Race, and I want you to be my Drag Race expert or whatever expert, and I want you to come back. Would you?
Not only do I promise to come back, But I promise you that when I come back, there's going to be even more surprises and more people that I dress that right now I cannot talk about. So,
Oh.
who knows? Yes.
Well, my friends, thank you so much. This is Rey Ortiz. My name is Carlos Marrero. We're going to say goodbye with a little saying that it says, con mucha paz, pero sobre todo con mucho, mucho amor. Mi nombre es
And we're
Carlos
gonna
Marrero.
close.
Okay.
We're gonna close this segment with a lip sync to our faces, like Jada, and we're gonna lip sync.
Until then, my name is Carlos Marrero. This is Rey Ortiz, and you're watching Tendencias. Bye.
Thank you. Take care, guys.